Smoky Valley, and welcome to today's in-service program. The fact that you're watching this video means that your team has congregated into the classroom and you're ready to start this activity. We're going to be completing what's called a Breakout EDU game today, and that may be something new to you, but Breakout EDU is kind of a new thing in the educational world, and I think after today's activity you might find this to be an interesting addition to your teaching strategies, and we'll talk more about that at the conclusion of our program today. But primarily, your goal as a team is to break out the EDU box that's sitting in your classroom. You may have noticed when you walked in that there was a box there, and it's got some locks on it. The way that you're going to break out that box is by answering some challenge questions. Your team will need to problem solve, collaborate, work together to answer 3 challenge questions. And when doing so, you will receive from your gamekeeper in your room a key to your lock. Now that gamekeeper in your room, which is one of our members of our administrative team, is there to kind of help guide and support you, to help facilitate the game. They're not there to answer questions. They can't really give you hints or clues to some degree, but they are there to help you kind of make sure you're going in the right direction. And if by chance you happen to get into a sticky position and you're not sure how to proceed, they are there to help. You have 2 hint cards to play during your breakout game. If your team really gets into a stuck point where you can't go any further and you're not sure what to do, you can play one of your hint cards and your gamekeeper will help you proceed and keep you on track. Now, an important thing to keep in mind is your team only has 45 minutes to break out that box, and there are prizes involved with this, so getting into your box will be meaningful and it will be worthwhile to you. In addition, the first team, out of the 7 teams that are playing this morning, the first team who completes the challenge completely will win a grand prize, and that will be awarded back in the auditorium when our whole group gets back together at the conclusion of the game. Now, here are a couple of basic rules about Breakout EDU games. First and foremost, you need to play the game with integrity. There's a purpose here. Our purpose today is that your team is being identified as an outside validation team, or OVT. OVTs are a part of the new accreditation system called KESA, and an OVT team is essentially a group of educators who comes and works with a school district and helps them, guide them, facilitate, and learn about their school district. And at the end of the cycle of accreditation, it's this team that actually makes the recommendation to the State Department of Ed what your accreditation should be. So for the sake and purposes of our game today, your team is an OVT for Smoky Valley. Now, in order to do a good job, we need our OVT to be trained. We need you to understand the KESA cycle. We need you to understand the ins and outs of our accreditation model, the new one, because QPA is gone. We no longer work with the old Quality Performance Accreditation System, QPA. We're now using KESA, a brand new system. And we need you as our team members to be fully aware of what KESA is all about and how to make sure that Smoky Valley is meeting accreditation expectations. So that's the scenario for the game. As you play, you're going to be learning about different aspects of KESA, and we hope that at the end of this process, we'll all be a little bit more educated on what this new accreditation system is. And the best part of it is we're going to do something kind of fun in the process, and I hope you'll enjoy this. In general, not much is off limits for you in this particular game. You have access to your computers. You can use that. You can use Google, search engines, all that sort of thing. It's all open. For the most part, though, you don't need to be looking into file cabinets, drawers, desks, anything like that for clues, hints, or information. Information should be readily available to you if you follow the hints and the clues that are given to you by your gamekeeper. You may be challenged to find the information, and you may be challenged to complete the tasks, but for the most part, you won't need to be looking and getting into things in your classroom. One other aspect is, for the most part, everything should be in your classroom to complete the challenges. There is one part of one challenge where you may be required to leave the classroom, so be aware of that. But for the most part, you'll be staying in the room. Your gamekeeper is there to help moderate the game. They will allow you to use the 2 hint cards that are available to you through the game. And a hint card is there in case your team gets stuck. If you really don't feel like you can go any further, you've exhausted all your ideas and you're not sure what to do, then use a hint card and your gamekeeper will support you and provide a good next step that should keep you going and moving through the game. Again, we only have 45 minutes or so to play this game. You need to be moving along in these challenges pretty quickly. And so it's important that your team work together, that you communicate well, and that you work as a team to complete each challenge. So at this time, I think I'm going to turn it over to your gamekeeper and let them begin. They will be giving you the first clue to your first challenge. So I look forward to the end of the game and seeing how it all plays out. Have fun.